We just got back from a 14-day Mediterranean cruise on board the Costa Fascinosa. And today, we're going to tell you all of the good, the bad, and the not so good of the cruise. Also, at the end of this review, we're going to give you a special bonus. Something that you need to know if you're planning on cruising with Costa. So,
stay tuned.
Hi everyone, I'm Rick.
And I'm Andrea. And today we'll give you a full review of our 14 days Mediterranean cruise on board the Costa Fascinosa. But first, if you like travel-related video like this one, now is a perfect time to hit the subscribe button down below, so you'll never miss any future videos.
What great advice.
Thank you. Now, as you know from previous cruise videos, we'll rate each aspect of the cruise from 1 to 5 anchors. So let's dive right in, starting from boarding. As we mentioned in our previous Costa review, we received a boarding time about 2 weeks prior departure. We had to take a COVID test within 48 hours prior departure to give to the embarkation agent. On the embarkation morning, we arrived at port at 10 o'clock as our assigned boarding time. This time we were traveling with an older gentleman that had some mobility issue. So we asked the port agent for an assistance with a wheelchair. And they were very able to organize it for us.
Right, now that wasn't an employee of Costa, that was the port
agent. Yeah, exactly. It took a few minutes to have the chair ready, but overall it was a smooth process. As of May 1st, 2022, no more COVID test at the port is required. At 10:35 we were on board. That wasn't bad at all, considering that we had to wait about 15 minutes for the wheelchair to arrive.
Yeah, good point.
I would say that boarding was quite good, and for me it deserved a 4 out of 5 anchors, just because of the wait for the wheelchair. Otherwise it would be a 5. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah, same idea. You know, if it wasn't for the wait for the wheelchair, we would have been on board in probably 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was really smooth.
Now, there did seem to be a little disorganization, but everyone was friendly and apologetic and assured us that the wheelchair would be available soon. So, for me, I also give it a 4 out of 5. Now, our next topic on the Costa Fascinosa cruise review is the ship. The Costa Fascinosa was built by Fincantieri and launched in 2012. It's 290 meters long, and it has a capacity of 3,800 passengers and 1,110 crew members. Overall, we like the ship, but it's not the easiest ship to navigate. This is because the main dining rooms, well, they're located on decks 3 and 4 in the middle of the ship. So the only way to walk from the front of the ship to the back of the ship is on deck 5. Now, the ship decor is okay, nothing special. The common areas are also nice and very spacious. It's similar to many of the other Costa ships. Also, the Fascinosa has a set of panoramic elevators situated in the midship towards the front, and they run between decks 2 and deck 11. The ship, my favorite area, has also a lot of areas for suntanning. And in particular, there was one that was really quite nice, all the way up on deck 12, in front of the Scudiera bar. This area was sheltered from the wind, and the little bar was never too busy, so it was very convenient. Another feature that I particularly enjoyed on the ship was the water slide.
Boy, you used it a lot.
Yeah, in fact, it was so much fun, I probably went down 100 times. I mean, the ship staff got to know me by then. So the slide alone tipped the scales quite considerably. But to me, the Fascinosa isn't the best design. So my vote for the ship is a 4 out of 5. Again, mostly because of the slide. What's your vote, Andrea?
I totally agree. The ship was not the easiest one to navigate. I did not like the fact that the only deck that was open from front to back was deck 5.
Yeah.
So I give the ship a 3 out of 5. I didn't really care very much for the slides, so...
Yeah, you only went down once.
Yeah, it was too cold. Our next topic on our Costa Fascinosa cruise review is the itinerary. The itinerary, originally we were supposed to sail from the Italian port of Savona to the port of Haifa in Israel. This original itinerary had the 5 sea days and 7 ports of call. A couple of weeks prior departure, we received an email that due to geopolitical difficulties in Israel, the itinerary was changed to a new one that only had 3 sea days and 9 port of calls. The new itinerary was sail from Savona and stop in Marseille, Barcelona, Malta, Santorini, Mykonos, Heraklion on the island of Crete, Athens, Catania and Naples before getting back to Savona. Overall, we weren't too upset that we missed Haifa because this new itinerary gave us the opportunity to visit more places and have a few sea days.
Yeah, fewer sea days.
Very few.
Yes.
In the end, we think that this newly revised itinerary was one of the best Mediterranean itineraries we have done so far. And we really, really liked it.
Yeah, Costa, if you're listening to this, do this itinerary again.
Oh yeah, and the fact that it was always in the sun was amazing. For this reason, for the itinerary, my vote is a solid 5 out of 5. So what do you think, Rick?
Yeah, I mean, first, the weather was absolutely spectacular. I mean, not Costa's fault, of course, but, you know, they'll take credit for it. And it made visiting the ports all that much more enjoyable. But the fact that there was so many fewer sea days, well, this was wonderful. So for me, I also give it 5 out of 5. Our next item on our Costa Fascinosa cruise review is the cabin. Now, our cabin on the Costa Fascinosa was identical to pretty much every other Costa cabin we've had so far.
Balcony cabin.
Balcony cabin, exactly. It's simple, no frills, but it's spacious. The bed is very comfortable, but like other ships, one side is really close to the window. And the balcony is also quite wide. It can accommodate 2 chairs and a little table. Also, the bathroom is a bit small, but it's efficient. Now, the cabin has that ugly brown couch that converts into a bed for an extra passenger. And the closet space has a lot of room with drawers and shelves. Overall, we think the cabin could benefit from a bit of a makeover and make it a little bit more modern. And by the way, Costa, if you're listening, throw out those brown couches. Seriously, they're ugly. So for those reasons, my vote for the cabin is a 3 out of 5. Andrea, what do you think?
Yeah, well, my vote for the cabin is also a 3 out of 5. I love the space in the balcony and the space in the cabin, but the couch gotta go. Our next item on the Costa Fascinosa cruise review is the service. Service on Costa Fascinosa was a little spotty at best. In some areas of the ship it was a bit better, but while in another area it was not so great. This was more apparent during our first week of the cruise because there was a lot of servers at the end of their contract. And they appeared very tired. Most of them disembarked in the port of Athens, and we were aboard some new servers in that port. After Athens, it was mildly better, but still not great. We ate at the club restaurant and noticed that the general lack of training, especially for assistants. Normally, the club restaurant gets the very best waiter on the ship, but not on this one. We brought this up to the manager several times, and finally, after a few days, and we found the waiter that we liked, things got a little better. Another thing we noticed that was the fact that the staff blamed the COVID protocol for anything that we brought up. However, we knew that this wasn't true because on previous cruise, in the middle of the pandemic, most of these issues were not there. Now, it wasn't all bad. One thing that was surprisingly to us is the help that we were giving to the passenger with mobility issue. As we mentioned at the beginning, one of our travel mates had mobility issue. Every morning, before going out on excursion, we contacted the front desk to arrange a wheelchair to take him outside of the ship. In less than 5 minutes, the wheelchair was at the cabin, ready to take him out.
Yeah.
This service was incredibly good and efficient and professional. The person pushing the wheelchair always took us to the bus or even to the taxi stand when needed. This made our vacation way better, and we really have to commend Costa for this service.
Yes, and Marco, by the way. You remember Marco on the phone? Yeah.
Marco on the phone was really good. For this reason, my final vote is a 2 out of 5. So what's your vote, Rick?
Yeah, as you said, service was really spotty. Now, some of the servers were good, but for many, it seems that they had no idea about even the most basic way to take care of guests at a restaurant. Like, how many times did the appetizers arrive with the first course? You never do that. And the extreme tiredness of some of the staff on board was really apparent. Based on this, my vote, unfortunately, is also a 2 out of 5. However, the way they handled the wheelchair situation, kudos to Costa on that one. We really liked it. All right, so let's move on to our next topic on our Costa Fascinosa cruise review, the safety and cleanliness. Okay, so first, let me say that the Costa Fascinosa was absolutely spotless. Incredibly clean in every single corner. I mean, you could eat off the floor. The crew was constantly washing the ship, cleaning and dusting everywhere at every time. It could not be cleaner. We even had our balcony washed twice. And from the cleanliness point of view, it made us feel really safe. The COVID safety protocol, of course, was eased on May 1st of 2022, and you can check out this video to see what cruising is like with the new protocols. For this reason, my vote is a solid 5 out of 5 anchors for safety and cleanliness. What's your vote, Andrea?
Yeah, that's a 4 out of 5 for me as well. It was like pretty good, really good.
Yeah.
We continue our Costa Fascinosa cruise review by talking about the Costa Club loyalty program. On May 1st, Costa changed its loyalty program. They introduced a new category, the Platinum, which is really difficult to reach.
Yeah.
I mean, 140,000 points is like, whoa!
Practically need to live on a ship.
Our status on the old program was Perla Diamante, and it was the highest at the time. Today is the second to the highest. Most of the perks we had on the old program were still available in the new program, but a couple was not available anymore. In particular, we did not have the €75 on board credit that we used to have in the previous program. This was very unfortunate. Also, on this sailing, they told us that we had no more turn-down service at night, which was available only at Platinum or passenger traveling in suites. However, after checking on few Costa groups online, found out that many ships still has turn-down service, even for
Costa Club Gold?
Costa Club Gold. So, wow.
Or people traveling in regular cabins.
Yeah, exactly.
And thank you, social media, for that.
Yeah. So, and they're again blaming this on
COVID or whatever.
Then there was the Costa Club show for well-guested Costa Club members. On this cruise, it was incredibly lame. It was less than 20 minutes long, there was no speech from the captain or the hotel director, and it felt it was like really rushed and forced. Also, there was no free photos at the event, and again, blame it on COVID.
Yeah, this free photo, by the way, is usually a photo with the ship or with the captain, and they have a nice Costa memory, and it's against a green screen. So there's
no COVID in a green screen.
There's no COVID there.
So how was it possible that on our 4 previous cruises in 2021 and 2022, we were able to take the photo, even though we were still in the middle of the pandemic?
Yeah.
While now, which much better situation, we cannot take the photo on a green screen. Maybe this was more of a cost-saving measure than a COVID one. We don't know.
Yeah.
That said, one very good thing about the Costa Club on this particular cruise was the end of the cruise gift.
Yes.
Instead of the usual beach bag or laundry bag that we received on previous cruise, with a nice big bottle of port and a ship model which was really nice. To summarize, the Costa Club still offers very good perks and is still a very good program. But to us, it feels like As we cruise more, perks that were available before have been taken away. And this is never a very good feeling.
No.
Also, on this particular sailing, the show and the lack of free photo was really disappointing. For this reason, my vote is a 3 out of 5. What is your vote, Rick?
Yeah, well, as you said, there are still some good points about the program, and better than some other loyalty programs in the industry. But on this ship, it was obvious that something was not right. Almost amateurish and not in line with what we've come to expect from Costa. So for that, I'm going to give the Costa a 3 anchors out of 5. And next on our Costa Fascinosa cruise review, we continue with the drinking package. As we mentioned before in our cruise review on board the Costa Luminosa, by the way, here's a video link to that, the drinking on board Costa is a very good deal. It's an even better deal if you buy it at the time of booking. All you do is select the all-inclusive fare. Our package was the My Drinks package, also known in the past as Brindiamo, but now they've changed it to My Drinks. This is the basic package and includes pretty much everything that we needed. In fact, it included a selection of 3 white wines, 3 red wines, 1 rosé, and a Prosecco to choose from. It also included most cocktails, spirits, dessert wines, draft beer, and digestives like grappa and scotch, and no more needing to do the IKEA spritz.
No.
It also included all of the coffees like espresso, cappuccino, specialty coffees, and of course the teas. On top of that, it included 1 half-liter bottle of water per person per day available at the bars. It was possible to purchase an upgrade to the My Drinks Plus, which includes premium wines, premium liqueurs, and the cabin minibar. But for us, we think that the My Drink package is the right deal for us, and a fantastic deal at that. So, my vote is a solid 5 out of 5 anchors. Andrea, what do you think?
I totally agree. My vote is a 5 out of 5 as well. I like to be able to go and get my soda water as many times as I want without having to pay for it. Our next topic on our Costa Fascinosa cruise review is the Costa App. The Costa App is the main portal on your mobile phone that allows you to check what is going on board, track your expenses, track the ship, purchase excursion, make reservation, check menus, etc., etc. Since our last cruise, we noticed that the app had some mild improvements in the functionality and some extra feature added.
Yeah, it looked promising.
Very promising. However, toward the end of our cruise, the app stopped working properly. In particular, we wasn't connecting to the ship server, and it would simply still there and spin and spin and spin in the opening page.
Yep.
Since we did not buy the internet package and we were using the per minute option, the fact that the app wasn't working was particularly annoying because we never knew if we were logged out or not from the internet, and if we had to pay or not for the internet.
Right.
So that was kind of like... Overall, the app is okay. It has a lot of room for improvement, but it's pretty much similar to all the other cruise line apps that we tested so far.
Yeah.
So for this reason, my vote is a 3 out of 5. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah, look, Costa, if you're listening, it's 2022. You guys can definitely improve that app, and please do it. And the fact that for the last week or so of the app, that the app wasn't working properly was incredibly annoying. So for the app, I actually give it a 3 out of 5 as well. And now we continue on our Costa Fascinosa cruise review by talking about the bars. Why is it I'm always talking about drinking? The Costa Fascinosa has several bars on board. However, it did not seem to have the same amount as we found in other ships. Well, I mean, they were bigger ships. We did, however, find that secret bar on deck 12 because, as I mentioned before, it was right around our favorite sun-tanning area on deck 12. Overall, the bars were good. Service was, again, a little spotty, usually just slow. For example, the pool bar always had a bunch of great bartenders, very friendly and efficient, while at the bar on deck 3 by the panoramic elevators, well, they just didn't look like they were doing anything. It was very slow and inconsistent. So we just went to the bars that we liked.
Yeah.
For that reason, my vote is a 4 out of 5 due to the spotty service. What do you think?
Yeah, my vote for bars is also a 4 out of 5. After we found out that the back pool deck bar was better, we stick there. So our next Costa Fascinosa cruise review topic is one of my first favorite one, the food. If there's an aspect in which Costa excels is the food for sure.
Yeah.
The food is always perfect, well seasoned, well prepared, and perfectly presented. The selection is fantastic, a little overwhelming at times. You will always find a selection of appetizer, one seafood, one meat, and one vegetarian. After that, you'll find the primi, which usually is a pasta dish, and again, you'll find the seafood one, a meat pasta, and the vegetarian, and on top of that, the soup of the day.
Right.
Then you'll find your secondi, or your main course. And again, you can choose between a seafood, a meat, and the vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, you'll find the destination dish, designed by one of the Michelin star chefs that designed the onboard specialty restaurant. Also, because we were having our meal at the club restaurant, more about that later, we had a gourmet dish always available in each category. If all this selection wasn't enough for you, there's a section on the menu that is called the Great Classic, where you can find a selection of dishes that are always available, and like filet mignon with béarnaise sauce,
Right.
bolognese pasta, pasta pesto, salmon.
Yes, grilled salmon.
And then, as we mentioned before in our Costa Luminosa cruise video, if still you cannot find something you like, you can check the Squawk menu. It's the kids and teen menu, where you can pick dishes like chicken nuggets, burger, fries, tomato pasta, and more.
Actually, the chicken burger we ate several times was delicious.
Finally, there's an entire section of gourmet dishes available for a fee that includes caviar, lobster, pasta with lobster, prawns, tomahawk steak, and so on. However, we noticed that the gourmet food price went up quite a bit.
Yeah, as much as double.
For some dishes, yeah. From our last cruise a few months ago.
Yeah.
As we told you in the past, a special mention has to go to the desserts. They are not just delicious, they are also very, very pretty and perfectly presented. If you travel on Costa, make sure to leave some room for desserts.
You won't regret it.
No, you won't be disappointed at all. And if you like dessert, please give us a thumbs up. Well, it's almost impossible not to give a Costa a 5 out of 5 for the food. In fact, I would give them like a 10 out of 5 if I could. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah, so eating on board any Costa ship is like eating at a Michelin star restaurant. And it's included in your fare. So, guys, 5 out of 5 anchors for me. All right, so we continue our Costa Fascinosa cruise review by talking about the restaurants. The Costa Fascinosa has the main dining room, and it's located on decks 3 and 4. This is a very nice and spacious space. They serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The dinner service has an early seating at 7 and a late seating at 9. Now, the buffet is located on deck 9, and it's also quite large and offers a good selection of food on both sides. It's open for breakfast and lunch, and on this cruise, they also offered a limited selection for dinner. First time we ever saw that.
Yep.
On top of those two choices, there's some specialty paid restaurants. The most important one, and the most fancy, is the Archipelago, where there's 3 Michelin star chefs that offer a set menu for you to pick from. The ambiance is really beautiful. It's modern and really classy, and I really want to eat there. But, as we mentioned before in our Costa Luminosa review, at this restaurant you cannot make any substitution to the menus. Even if you have a food allergy, an intolerance, or anything like that, you're out of luck. Andrea, for instance, he doesn't eat seafood. And the majority of the dishes served there is seafood. For this reason, we won't be able to eat there. Now, this is incredibly difficult. Let's say you're a table of 4 or 6 and you have one person with intolerances. What happens? You all go to another restaurant. Yeah. Now, I did hear grumblings that the management is looking at making some changes. The second specialty restaurant is the Sushi Bar. And again, on this cruise, it was pretty much empty. The third specialty restaurant is the pizzeria, and we actually did try it, and it was excellent.
Yes, it was really good.
However, again, the service was off. For instance, we ordered an appetizer, a pizza, and a dessert. And the appetizer arrived at the same time as the pizza. We were each given 2 plates at dinner. One for the appetizer, one for the pizza. It just made no sense at all. Another strange thing about the restaurant is the location. The pizza oven is on deck 9, but all of the tables were on deck 10. Why didn't they use the tables that were on deck 9 all the way around the pizza oven?
Yeah,
it's a bit of a mystery.
Very strange.
Also available on Costa Fascinosa is the Street Food Grill, and they serve gourmet burgers for a small fee at night. Also on Deck 5, you can find the Gelateria Amarillo, which serves gelato, chocolate, freshly baked cakes, and desserts for a fee. Now, we didn't try this because why on earth would we? The desserts on board at the restaurant are fantastic, and we're always full.
Lots of people have the gelato, though.
Yeah, that's true. Lastly, the Costa Club restaurant is a dedicated restaurant to suite passengers as well as Costa Club Gold and Platinum passengers. This is a nice and classy restaurant located on deck 11 at the back of the ship. The setting's a little more intimate than the main dining room, and as we mentioned before, the menu is the same as the main dining room with some extra gourmet dishes that are available. And non-suite or gold passengers can eat at the club for a fee and with a reservation. Overall, I think that the restaurant selection on the ship is quite good. I still don't understand the concept of archipelago, and with the strict no substitution, for this reason, my vote for restaurants is going to be a 4 out of 5. Andrea, what do you think?
Yeah, forgetting about the service, we already had an entire rated for the service. I also give a 4 out of 5 because I can't go to the archipelago. I don't eat seafood, and there's also seafood there, so strange. Our Costa Fascinosa cruise review continues with the entertainment. The entertainment team on board the Costa Fascinosa was definitely better than the one we had on the couple of months ago on the Costa Luminosa. That was really lame.
Yeah.
In particular, the cruise director, Giovanni, was really good, very friendly, and was always greeting people by the first name, passengers, very friendly, and was really, really interacting with everyone. And the team is doing their best to keep people entertained with game, dance lesson, activities all over the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the parties on board were pretty good and very, very well attended. Overall, we think that the team was good, not Marco good, but pretty good. Some members of the team could have been a little bit friendlier, but overall, they were very friendly. Yeah. Again, some of them were tired because they're at the end of the contract. For this reason, my vote is a 4 out of 5. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah, the entertainment team, we liked it. And Giovanni, being able to speak all of those languages at length, incredible. So my vote is a solid 4 out of 5. Let's move on with the next aspect on our Costa Cruise review, and we're going to be talking about the shows. On this cruise, the shows were, the average Costa shows. A lot of singing and dancing. There was also some acrobatic shows. There were singers, and there was a magician. Actually, that was cool.
That was very cool.
Overall, I liked it. Nothing amazing, but, pretty good. Most importantly, there was a decent mix of shows during the 14 days, and they never felt repetitive. As usual, one of the most attended shows was The Voice at the Sea, and again, I did not get up the courage to go. If you think I should go for The Voice at Sea, give me a like on this video or give me a comment below, because we'll be on board the Costa Toscana in just a few months. So, for this reason, my vote for the shows is a 4 out of 5 anchors. Andrea, what do you think?
Yeah, my vote is also a 4 out of 5. It never felt repetitive, which was really good. And now we continue our Costa Fascinosa cruise review with one of our favorite places on board, the spa.
Yes.
As you guys know, by now, we love the spa.
Yeah.
On the Costa Fascinosa, the spa is located on deck 11 and 12, all the way at the front of the ship. The area is huge for the size of the ship. The spa has a large jacuzzi, a sauna, a steam room, which was still closed, unfortunately, due to the COVID restrictions. A few relaxation area at different temperature with different kind of chairs, soft, hard, a winter garden, and a solarium. It is a really, really nice area. We spent an afternoon there and we loved it. And this was a free entrance due to our gold status, which is a good perk, actually.
Yeah, it's a good perk.
We were advised that due to the COVID restriction, we are not able to book the area for the whole cruise in advance at a discounted rate, as we were able to do 2 months ago during pandemic.
Yeah, and they said they blamed COVID.
Again.
Yeah.
Also, we were informed that only 7 people at a time are allowed on this area for 75 minutes maximum.
Not like other ships.
Not like other ships. So we did not bother booking it for the whole cruise. Also, we think that when the weather is nice like we had, it's very unlikely that we spend time in the steam room.
Yeah.
And on this cruise, Rick did not book a massage, strange enough. So we can't really review that service either. However, the spa manager recognized us from previous cruises, and she was incredibly nice to us and very friendly. She welcomed us and was really, really happy to see us again, which made a very nice touch.
Yeah.
In the spa, you can also find an hair salon and a salon and several massages rooms, and the gym is located at the spa.
Right.
One thing we have noticed on this particular ship, that is at the gym changing room, also you have a dry sauna that is included in your cruise fee, which is very nice.
Yeah, it's free to use.
Absolutely. After this long review, it's time to vote. For me, the spa deserves a solid 5 out of 5, because it's really beautiful. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah, I like the spa. I always love being there. The area was beautiful, and the spa manager was so incredibly nice to us that for me it also deserves a 5 anchors out of 5. Our next topic on the Costa Fascinosa cruise review is the Excursions. This is a very surprising one, actually. If you watched our last Costa Luminosa cruise review, you probably remember us going on and on, ranting, that the Excursions was terrible. Well, we're pleased to tell you that on the Costa Fascinosa, the Excursions team was really well organized, well run, and efficient. One very important thing we noticed right away was that the excursion manager or the tour manager was always around. In fact, we spotted him incognito several times on excursions that we took, and he always dressed like a normal passenger so that nobody knew.
Yeah.
We think this made a lot of difference. Now, since April 1st, 2022, passengers could leave the ship and explore on their own, which is so much better. One thing to consider when booking a Costa cruise is the excursion package. It's called My Exploration, and it includes 3 excursions to be picked from a list of selected ones, and they also give you a discount on all of the others. And of course, if you book the super all-inclusive package, cruise fare, the My Exploration package is also included. We only booked 3 excursions with the cruise line, and we really enjoyed them. And also, there was only one of them that was canceled in the entire trip, which before, like almost all of them were canceled. In particular, our favorite one was the tour of Santorini, which was a wine tasting and a restaurant. It was so much fun. Another thing worth mentioning was how great the Excursions team was with our travel mate, the one who has mobility issues. They always reserved the first row of the bus for him, and they always made sure he was fine and well accommodated. We were really quite impressed with that. Lastly, Costa is partnering with National Geographic Explorations to come up with excursions that are off the beaten path. We hope to try some of these on a future trip. One thing that's worth mentioning is the fact that on the Costa portal, if you guys are listening, the description of the excursions is not always the most accurate. And
one thing, it's very accurate in Italian, the translation in other languages.
Right. And sometimes was difficult to find out what the excursion includes. However, we were always able to clear everything up well in advance with the excursion team. They were really helpful and knowledgeable on what was included and not included. Well, after this very long review, it's time to vote. I give the excursion a solid 5 out of 5 because finally, I think they were really on top of things. What is your vote?
My vote on excursion is also a 5 out of 5. I think the manager made all the difference in the world. He was always there, always checking. He was really, really good.
Yeah.
And now we continue on our Costa Fascinosa cruise review with the casino. The casino is really big for this ship. It's located on deck 5 towards the back of the ship. There are a lot of tables and a very good amount of slots. On this cruise, the casino was a little busier than our previous cruise in March on the Costa Luminosa, however, was not busy at all. Most of the tables were closed or empty, due to the lack of people.
Yeah.
In fact, there's only 2 roulette tables open, 1 blackjack and 1 Caribbean poker open. All the other tables were closed every night.
In fact, I don't remember even seeing anybody at blackjack or Caribbean poker.
Even though we did not use the casino very much, we can vote on the location and the settings. My vote for the casino is a 4 out of 5 because it's quite nice, actually. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah. I also give the casino a 4 out of 5, only because I didn't win the jackpot on the slot machine.
Play?
Yes, a couple of times. Now, the area is nice, feels a bit dated like usual, but guys, just give it a little update on the next dry dock. Alright, so the next topic for our Costa Fascinosa cruise review is the photo gallery. The photo gallery on the Costa Fascinosa is located on deck 4 of the midship. Incidentally, it's the only reason to go on deck 4 in the midship. We personally think it's a terrible location due to the fact that nobody really walks on deck 4. In fact, the only time we went there was, of course, to specifically look for photos. Photographers, of course, well, they were around the ship every day and night. They were very pleasant and not too pushy, but they definitely try to get you to take the photos. So, my vote for the gallery is a 3 out of 5. I did not like the location, and also out of the 30 photos that we took, we didn't buy any of them. Andrea, what's your vote?
I give the photo gallery a 3 out of 5 as well. The location was not very good, and the photographers sometimes, they seem a little staged. Let's move to another topic on our Costa Fascinosa cruise review, and we talk about the stores. The store area on Costa Fascinosa are located on deck 5 and is called the Galleria as any other Costa ship. There's a clothing store that sells brand name clothing, bags and shoes, a duty-free store that sells perfumes, watches and jewelry. It also has a very small area for travel necessity and essential and chocolate. One thing that was not available at the duty-free store is tobacco.
Yeah,
we heard a few passengers complaining about the fact that if they want to buy cigarettes, they have to go outside.
Yeah, we saw the most traveled passengers. You were in Malta?
Yeah.
Walking all the way down?
Next to the duty-free store, there's a Costa merchandise store, and it sells all the same stuff that Costa sells. Overall, the area is pretty nice and big for the ship. It was quite busy at night and during sailing. Also, during sailing, they always have a booth at deck 5 at the Grand Bar Top Capi, where they can find stuff on sale. This was a great place to find the deals on perfumes, scarves, t-shirts, etc. and stocking stuffing for Christmas, for example.
Yeah.
As we mentioned in our previous Costa review, the selection of toiletry was very, very limited. On this particular sailing, it was not a problem because we were able to go out in port almost every day and buy on our own.
Yeah.
So that was not as big problem as previous cruise.
But if a cruise has a lot of sea days.
Yeah, that became a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
My vote for the stores is a 3 out of 5. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah, stores are average, nothing special. And the usual lack of choices for toiletries, give it a 3 out of 5. All right, so our next topic for our Costa Fascinosa cruise review, the internet. So on this sailing, we found out that there was an unlimited package available for €100. Costa listened to us, apparently, from another video. They just didn't listen to the price. Considering there's only a few sea days, we found that price to be really excessive compared to what we're used to. Other cruise lines offer unlimited for much cheaper. There are also social media and WhatsApp packages available for a lower price.
But you cannot check email on those prices.
Right. Now, we decided to use the pay per minute option, which cost 25 cents per minute because we only needed it for a short period to check emails when we're sailing. The internet speed was okay, certainly not the fastest, but it was fine for email. But the main problem here wasn't the speed, it was accessing it. There was one evening that I needed to use the internet, and I couldn't because the Costa app didn't work. And after about 30 minutes of trying, I called the front desk, said hello to Marco again, and they suggested by going through the web browser, and they gave me some things to do, but in the end, it didn't work. I really wasn't happy. So, for the internet, my vote is a 1 out of 5 only because I couldn't give it a 0. And the unlimited package is way too expensive. Andrea, what do you think?
I give the internet on board a 3 out of 5 just because it did the job for me, but again, because we're in Europe and I could use my phone, I did not need the internet as badly. Moving on our Costa Fascinosa cruise review, we continue with the overall feeling on board. The first thing we noticed on board was an overall tiredness from a big number of crew members, especially the crew members from Brazil, who were on board at the end of their contracts. It was quite apparent that they just wanted to disembark and go back home.
Yeah.
For most of them, the disembarkation was after the first week of the cruise in the port of Athens. Passengers, however, they were quite happy and very friendly.
And very eager to dance.
Very
Get
eager
to the
dance.
party.
Absolutely. There was a good mix of passengers from all over Europe. We were able to have conversation with a lot of fellow passengers, and which was really nice, actually. We enjoyed the camaraderie on board. Everyone was really happy about the relaxed protocol on board, and the fact that we were able to explore ports on our own made the total difference. Also, on this cruise, there was a majority of passengers who were very long-time cruisers, and they were very familiar with life on board, which makes a big difference. So, my vote for the overall feelings on board is a 4 out of 5. What's your vote, Rick?
So, I wish I could give 2 votes. One for the crew and one for passengers. You know, as you mentioned, the tiredness of the crew, well, it was pretty obvious. I mean, imagine for a second, you saved up all year or even longer to go on this cruise. And what do you get? Tired and unhelpful staff. Well, that's not cool. Now, passengers, on the other hand, well, they were excited, they were very nice, they were very friendly. So, for this overall feeling, I give it a 3 out of 5. Alright, so we're almost at the end of our Costa Fascinosa cruise review, and now we're going to talk about the disembarkation. First, Costa offers a safe place to hold bags for passengers during disembarkation. That way they can feel free to do what they like before they get off. And on this particular cruise, unfortunately, it was very disorganized. It opened at 8 a.m., and there was a huge crowd of people waiting in line. And this is why. Something very peculiar on this cruise was the fact that we all had to vacate our cabin by 8 a.m. sharp, even though the ship was not scheduled to arrive in port until 9 a.m. So basically, around 7:30 or 7:45, there were hundreds of passengers just roaming around like chickens, doing nothing, all with their baggage. Again, not cool. On previous cruises, there was always some flexibility on the time that we could vacate the cruise, or the cabin. For instance, we could leave our bags in the closet.
For half an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Very weird. No flexibility. Now, one thing that was quite nice, that was right by the gangway, before we left, the cruise director and the hotel manager were there personally to say goodbye to the passengers. Thought this was a really nice touch. I've never ever seen that before.
Very nice.
So kudos to you guys for that. So time to cast the last vote. Given the fact that we had to leave our room by 8 a.m. and that the baggage storage was completely disorganized, I give the disembarkation a 3 anchors out of 5. Andrea, what do you think?
I also give Disembarkation a 3 out of 5. I think that the 8 a.m. sharp is not really nice. And now it's time to wrap up our Costa Fascinosa cruise review with the conclusions. Overall, we felt it was a very good cruise, especially because it was a fantastic itinerary and the weather was like unbelievable.
Yeah.
We had 13 days of sun out of 14, and the sea was always like a mirror. There was not one single wave.
I mean, the Mediterranean is usually pretty calm in the summer, but this was...
Wow. The ship had a bit of problems, especially with the service. Nothing major, but still needed something to be addressed. The ship wasn't our favorite to the strange layout, but it was still alright. But Costa always surprises us with the quality and the presentation of the food. That's always a solid point on Costa. Now, before we wrap our cruise, we want to review another service that is not really part of the cruise, but it did make a huge difference. Care to explain, Rick?
Bag Express?
Absolutely.
Sure. Right, so Costa partnered with a company called Bag Express. For Gold and Platinum members, this is a free service, but anybody can use it for a small charge. So here's how it works. In the Bag Express portal, you put your sailing date, the ship, and the cabin number. Then Bag Express will arrange a bag pickup at your home. They will pick up your luggage and bring it to your cabin at embarkation. They also arrange to pick up the bag from your cabin and ship it back to your home, where you'll get it in a couple of days. We used this service for this cruise both ways, and I have to say, boom, it was fantastic. Incredibly efficient and convenient. Especially if you're taking a train to the cruise, this will save you the hassle to move your bags around. Or if you have mobility issues, another amazing thing. And guys, we're certainly going to use this service again in the future.
And by the way, Bag Express did not pay us to say this.
No.
Well, folks, this concludes our Costa Fascinosa cruise review. We hope you enjoyed our video, and if you do, please give us a like on the...
Yes, of course. I was going to say, and if you have any questions, don't forget to leave us a comment below, because we love to read and respond. In the meantime, we hope to see you in our next video.
Bye, guys.